Walk into any appliance store in 2025, and it feels less like shopping and more like stepping into a Vegas casino. Bright lights, flashy chrome finishes, giant touchscreen fridges screaming for attention. Every single one promises to redefine your kitchen. But here's the trap. These machines aren't built to last. Back in the day, refrigerators were tanks. Buy one in the 80s, and it would still be humming along in your garage today, chilling a 12-pack and that emergency tub of ice cream you swore you'd only eat on special occasions. Fast forward to now, that $3,000 smart fridge with Wi-Fi is more likely to crash on you faster than a celebrity marriage. The truth? Modern fridges average 4 to 7 years before something breaks. That's not an investment. That's a time bomb with a warranty sticker slapped on it. So how did the heart of the American kitchen turn into a money pit? Why are families spending thousands only to drag their fridge to the curb 5 years later? Today, we're tearing the door wide open on the biggest traps in modern refrigerators and showing you exactly how to dodge them. Quick note before we dive in. If you want to stop wasting money on overpriced junk and learn how to actually spot the real deals, smash that like button and hit subscribe. It tells YouTube to push this video to more smart shoppers just like you, and it makes sure you don't fall into the next trap we expose. Now, let's get into it. I spoke with dozens of repair techs across the country, and when I asked them which fridge brand they'd actually trust in their own homes, they laughed. Not a polite chuckle. Full-on laughter. Because according to them, almost all modern fridges are trash. Doesn't matter if it's Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, or GE. You've got a 50-50 shot at owning a future paperweight. And the biggest reason? Feature creep. Every brand is stuffing fridges with Wi-Fi, touchscreens, cameras, voice assistants, bells and whistles nobody really needs. Here's the thing. Every new feature is another failure point. Think of it like cars. That old pickup with crank windows is still running. But your buddy's fully loaded SUV? It's been to the shop 3 times this year because a seat sensor keeps frying. Same story with fridges. Take a simple side-by-side fridge. One cooling system, minimal wiring, reliable. Now compare it to a high-end French door model with 4 evaporators, a touchscreen, and more sensors than a Tesla. It looks sleek in the showroom, but in reality, it's a ticking time bomb. The wiring diagram on some of these things looks like the cockpit of a Boeing 747. Every extra circuit is another chance to ruin your $3,000 purchase. Bottom line, simplicity wins. The more smart features you add, the dumber the fridge gets in terms of durability. If you want something that lasts, skip the gimmicks. But nothing, and I mean nothing, kills more fridges than the #1 booby trap of them all, the indoor ice maker. That little button for crushed or cubed ice? It looks innocent, feels like a luxury. But trust me, it's a trap, the kind of trap that appliance techs lose sleep over. Ask any repair guy what breaks the most in modern fridges, and 9 times out of 10, they'll point at the ice maker. Here's why. Your fridge is trying to pull off an impossible magic trick. One section needs to stay humid and cool for fresh food. The ice compartment, meanwhile, has to stay freezing solid. 2 completely opposite environments stuffed into the same box. And what happens when opposites collide? Condensation, frost buildup, and eventually, catastrophic failure. It's not a small problem either. Entire class action lawsuits have been filed over this one design flaw. Samsung, in particular, has become the poster child for ice maker nightmares. Thousands of owners report the same story. Ice jams, water leaks, frozen over compartments, and eventually, a fridge that sounds like it's chewing gravel every time it tries to make ice. And here's the kicker. It's not just Samsung. LG, Whirlpool, Frigidaire. They've all stumbled on this exact design flaw. You'd think, after years of angry customers, brands would fix it. Instead, They keep slapping ice makers into every shiny new model because they know consumers can't resist that little crushed ice on demand fantasy. But what you actually get? Headaches, leaks on your kitchen floor, a repair bill that costs more than a countertop ice machine. One viewer told us their Samsung fridge lasted just 18 months before the ice maker froze solid. Service tech came out, charged $400, and 3 months later, the problem came right back. Another called their Whirlpool fridge the most expensive snow cone machine I never asked for. So here's the best advice you'll ever hear about refrigerators. Skip the indoor ice maker. Seriously, if you must have endless ice, buy a dedicated countertop unit or stick with the freezer-based setup in simpler side-by-side models. Because in the long run, avoiding that one feature could save you thousands in repairs. And while we're on the topic of complexity, let's talk French door fridges. They look gorgeous in the showroom. Big handles, 4 doors, sleek finishes. They make you feel like you're buying the Cadillac of appliances. But under the hood? They're basically a Jenga tower of fragile parts waiting for the wrong piece to snap. Techs will tell you, side-by-sides generally outlast French door fridges, simply because there's less going on. Fewer moving parts, fewer failure points, less drama. And yet, families keep lining up for the fancy 4-door models because the brands push them like luxury handbags. They want you dazzled by the exterior while ignoring the time bomb ticking inside. Bottom line, if you care about reliability, keep it simple. The fancier the fridge, the faster it dies. But design flaws aren't the only trap lurking here. Because the next big scam is hidden right on the label, and it might surprise you where your premium fridge is really made. Here's a trap most people never even notice until it's too late. That shiny badge on the front of your fridge might scream premium brand, but flip it around and look at the label, and you'll find a whole different story. Walk into any big box appliance store and take a good look. Out of 80 refrigerators on the floor, only a handful are actually made in the US. The rest? China, Mexico, Thailand. And while not every foreign-made fridge is junk, here's the ugly truth. The odds of tighter quality control are way better when the thing is built stateside. You'd think dropping $3,000 or $4,000 would guarantee craftsmanship. Nope. I've seen luxury models roll off overseas assembly lines with the same sloppy wiring you'd expect from a bargain bin toaster. That gorgeous Bosch fridge you thought was the German engineering dream? Surprise! Made in China. A $2,300 Whirlpool? Mexico. Even GE, the red, white, and blue giant, quietly outsources plenty of its lineup. One of our viewers bought a so-called high-end GE French door fridge. Price tag? Just under $3,500. The label? Made in Mexico. Less than 2 years later, the compressor died. Replacement cost, $1,200. They told us, if I wanted a short-term fridge, I'd have just bought a cheap import in the first place. Ouch! And it gets worse. A lot of these brands hide the country of origin in fine print. So you think you're getting American-made reliability, but what you're really buying is a global game of roulette. Some models hold up. Others are disasters waiting to happen. That's why, if you want even a fighting chance at reliability, always check the label before you buy. US-made models from GE and Whirlpool tend to have stricter standards. They're not indestructible, but at least you're not gambling blind. But manufacturing location isn't the only silent killer. Even if you buy the right fridge, the way you set it up at home can destroy it faster than a teenager wrecking their first car. Here's the trap. Clearance. Most people measure their kitchen cutout, see the fridge slide in, and call it a day. But what the brochures don't tell you is that you need at least 1 inch of breathing room on each side and a couple of inches at the back. Why? Because your fridge needs airflow. Those condenser coils can't cool themselves. Block that airflow, and your compressor starts working overtime. And here's the dark secret. Modern compressors already run 80 to 90% of the time in the name of energy efficiency. Starve them of ventilation, and you're practically setting a countdown timer to failure. I can't tell you how many $2,500 fridges I've seen end up at the dump just because someone wedged it too tight against the wall. One of our subscribers admitted their brand-new KitchenAid fridge lasted only 18 months. Diagnosis? Burned-out compressor. Cause? Zero clearance. That $3,000 machine became an oversized kitchen ornament. So here's your free upgrade. Don't just measure the space. Give your fridge room to breathe. A couple of inches can add years to its life. And speaking of years, let's get real about maintenance. Because here comes the simplest, dumbest trap of all. One that kills more fridges than bad wiring, foreign factories, or even those cursed ice makers. Let's talk about the dumbest fridge killer of them all. It's not fancy electronics, not bad compressors, not even the dreaded ice maker. It's dust. Yep, pet hair, lint, and crumbs clogging up your condenser coils. You'd be shocked how many people junk $2,700 refrigerators when all they really needed was 5 minutes, a vacuum, and a $10 coil brush. Those coils are the lungs of your fridge. Block them, and your compressor suffocates. One repair tech told me he sees this constantly. Burned-out machines that could have lasted years if someone had just cleaned the coils twice a year. One of our viewers confessed they tossed a $2,500 Samsung French door after only 3 years. The repair guy came out, pulled off the back panel, and showed them a giant dust bunny the size of a small cat. That was the only problem. They said, "I could have kept this fridge alive for the price of a broom." Brutal. So here's the truth. Maintenance matters. Every 6 months, especially if you've got pets, pull your fridge out and give it some air. It's not glamorous, but it adds years to your machine. Now, what about brands? We asked nearly 200 techs which refrigerators they'd actually trust. Here's the inside scoop. GE came out on top. Built simple, solid, and often in the US, their top freezer models are boring but bulletproof. Whirlpool landed close behind, especially in their side-by-side lineup. Avoid the flashy extras, stick with no-frills designs, and you're good. KitchenAid looks sleek, but the more doors and features, the more problems. Simple models? Okay. Luxury 4 doors? Money pit. Samsung and LG? Both infamous for ice maker nightmares. Samsung's making moves with beverage centers instead of ice, which is smarter, but buyer beware. LG's linear compressors have sparked lawsuits. Some say it's fixed, but the jury's still out. Sub-Zero and Viking? Tanks. If you can afford one, you'll probably never buy another fridge again. But for most people, dropping $10,000 on an appliance just isn't reality. Kenmore? Forget it. The name doesn't mean what it used to. Parts are scarce, quality is spotty, and half their models are rebadged imports. And here's one of the smartest tricks I've ever seen. Some savvy shoppers skip the $4,000 French door altogether. Instead, they buy 2 simple GE top freezers, set them side by side, and boom, a custom 4-door fridge setup. Twice the reliability, half the cost, and none of the gimmicks. Genius. So here's the bottom line. Want your fridge to actually last? Keep it simple. Skip the indoor ice maker. Avoid feature overload. Check the country of origin. Give it room to breathe. Clean the coils. Do that, and your fridge could last a decade or more. Ignore it, and you'll be buying another one before your next family vacation. Modern refrigerators are designed to dazzle you in the showroom and drain your wallet later. Don't fall for it. If this video saved you money, stress, or maybe even a fridge from the scrap heap, smash that like button and subscribe. Because here at Appliance Trap, we're exposing every gimmick, every scam, and every brand that wants to turn your hard-earned cash into junk. Stay sharp. Avoid the traps, And don't let your fridge become a $3,000 paperweight.